All right, your healer just died. The dragon is about to TPK your party, and your bard stands up and says, actually guys, that didn't happen. In Draw Steel, the Troubadour, which is their bard, knows a secret. This whole battle is just a story being told in a tavern somewhere, and they get to change how it's told. We're breaking down how this class turns the fourth wall into a weapon. Let me ask you, what's the most dramatic moment you'd want to rewrite at your table? So how does it work? The Troubadour operates on a simple premise. Every battle you fight, it's already happened. You're not experiencing it in real time. You're in a tavern years later telling the story of what went down. And as the storyteller, you kind of get to shape how dramatic, how epic, and how memorable that story becomes. It's a cool take on what the bard is. Now, mechanically, this translates into a resource called drama. While other classes within Draw Steel have things like rage or piety, you're collecting dramatic moments. You start each combat with a drama equal to your victories, then you gain 1d3 more at the start of each turn. But here's where it kind of gets interesting. Certain dramatic events give you bonus drama. So someone rolls a natural 19 or 20. You gain 3 drama. The first ally drops to 0 stamina. You gain 2 drama. 3 heroes use abilities on the same turn. Yep, you gain 2 drama. And what I find is the most interesting, when someone actually dies, you gain 10 drama. So you're almost kind of wishing that your allies go down. You're literally powered by how cinematic the battle becomes. And then you spend that drama to make it even more cinematic. It's this beautiful feedback loop of spectacle. Now, listen, if this concept resonates with you, if you're thinking, wait, I want to hear more about classes that break the mold like this, please hit the subscribe button. We're doing deep dives on every Draw Steel class, and trust me, they all have something wild going on. And honestly, I love making these videos, and knowing that people are watching and enjoying helps me continue going. Now, there are 3 ways to be a troubadour, 3 different class acts, as the game calls them. To begin with, you have the auteur. This is the screenwriter, the director. They're manipulating events, manipulating the sequence. That enemy that just showed up, nah, they missed their cue. They'll enter next round. An ally just died. Actually, this is the part where a mysterious ally shows up to help that ally. That's a lot of allies. Now look, they're rewriting the script in real time. It's a cool take on what the bard is. The next up feels a little more traditional. This is the Duelist, and it's all about dramatic combat. Think swashbuckler, think sword fights, think fancy footwork, dancing with death. It's that kind of energy. They turn the battles into choreographed performances, and their whole thing is creating these intense one-on-one moments where everything else kind of fades away. I want you to think about one of my favorite movies of all time, Princess Bride, and "My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." That was a very sad representation of that, but I felt good. The virtuoso is the musician, the rock star. They're weaponizing actual music. Their songs don't just inspire, they deal damage. They control the battlefield, and they create these area of effects called performances that your whole party can benefit from. Yes, it does kind of feel like Bard from, say, Pathfinder 2e, but this is less loot player in the corner and more power chord that literally knocks the enemies back. And as we've been learning, knockbacks are huge in Draw Steel. And speaking of performances, this is core to how troubadours function. At the start of each round, you choose a performance ability. These are ongoing magical effects, auras basically, that give your allies bonuses as long as they stay near you. Things like speed boosts, healing protection, you name it. There's probably a performance available for it. But here's the thing. You're not locked in. Each round, You can switch your performance to match what the battle needs. It means you're not stuck doing just one thing. The tanks taking heavy damage, switch to healing. Need to reposition, switch to speed. You're conducting the battle like a symphony and changing the tempo as needed. That's the foundation. Let's talk about what you can actually do with all this drama you're building up. Every troubadour starts with a signature ability, something you can use at will, no drama cost. These are your bread and butter. So for example, let's take witty banter. You make a ranged strike that deals psychic damage. And then, an ally within 10 squares can end an effect on themselves. Something that would, say, normally need a saving throw, or something that you've got to wait out the duration of. Gone. And if you spend 1 drama, that ally can also spend a recovery and heal up. It's damage and support in one action. So the more drama you get, the more you can do, even with your signature abilities. There's also Artful Flourish. You swing at 2 enemies, shift up to 3 squares, and for every 2 drama you spend, you can hit another target. So in a crowded battlefield, you're basically pinballing through enemies while repositioning your entire turn. And those of you that have heard me talk about our first adventures into Drawsteel, you know at one point my players were up against 23 enemies, so something like that can be super useful. But the real fun starts with your heroic abilities. These cost drama base, and they get pretty wild. Dramatic Reversal costs 5 drama. Everyone in a 3-square burst, so your whole party basically, can shift and make a free strike. On a good roll, they get an edge on that strike. On a great roll, they shift 3 squares. Now, what am I talking about on a good roll or a great roll? I'm talking tier 2, tier 3, right? So on that tier 3, they can shift 3 squares, make the strike with an edge, and spend a recovery. One ability just resets your entire team's positioning and gives them a full offensive turn. That's pretty sweet. Then you've got Fake Your Death. This one's available to any troubadour. You turn invisible. You create a magical illusion of your corpse. You get a speed boost, and you ignore difficult terrain. The illusion stays until you take damage or use a main action. This isn't just an escape tool. This is the enemy thinks I'm dead, but now I'm flanking them from behind. This is tactical advantage. This is what Drawsteel is about. It's about tactical, heroic fantasy. So each class act has a signature move that kind of defines their style. Auteurs unlock abilities like Guest Star and Twist at the end at 2nd level. Guest Star, you spend 5 drama, and either a nearby bystander gets uplifted by your magic and fights for you, or a mysterious ally just appears to help. They have your stats, can take actions, and stick around until the end of the encounter. It's like summoning backup, except narratively you're just saying, and then the help arrived. Twist at the end is even wilder. An enemy just died. You bring them back with half their stamina, and now they're fighting for you. The director controls them, but they're on your side. At the end of the encounter, they turn to dust. You literally rewrote the story so that this villain, this goblin, has a redemption arc. Okay, kind of cool. Duelists are all about that one-on-one intensity, right? That me and you, one-on-one, couple of swords, nobody else. They have a feature called Foil, where you pick one enemy at the start of combat. You both get a double edge against each other. So you're getting a double edge against them, they're getting a double edge against you. It's a mutual, this is personal moment. Again, going back to the Inigo Montoya, right? Then duelists get abilities like On Guard. You strike an enemy, they can strike you back, but if they choose to do that, then you can strike them again. It's a full crossing swords moment, and depending on your role, you might be dealing some massive damage. Virtuosos have their songs, and these aren't gentle ballads. I mean, listen to the name of this one, Thunder Mother. It's a performance, so it's active as long as you maintain it, and at the end of each round, you can make a power roll against one creature that ignores cover. just automatic damage on someone you can't even see clearly. They can't hide from your music. Or you have Tough Crowd, which creates a 3-cube area haunted by phantom audience members who don't like the enemy's performance. Enemies in that area take damage and get pulled toward the center. Your allies can move through it freely, though. You've literally made part of the battlefield hostile territory. And at second level, virtuosos can take Encore. You literally copy an ability someone else used this round. As long as it's a strike that costs 5 or less of their resource, you can just do it again. A fighter uses a devastating sword attack, you play a power chord, and that same attack happens again, but it deals sonic damage now. You're not just supporting, you're amplifying what your party already does. I want to spend a second on the Auteur because this is where the rewriting reality concept really shines. They have an ability called Mist Cue. At the start of combat, you can pick one enemy, not a boss, mind you, but a regular enemy, and they don't show up. They enter at the start of round 2. You're telling the director, no, that's not when they arrive in the story. So if you remember when I talked about that rewriting of the entire epic battle, that is what you as the auteur is doing. Or look at this, blocking, which is a performance. At the end of your turn, you can teleport enemies to different spaces in the area. It's not forced movement, teleportation. You're literally rearranging the stage. It's like saying, no, that goblin should be over there for better dramatic composition. It's like you know where everybody should be for the most epic scenes ever. These abilities aren't just mechanically strong, they're weird. They break the normal rules of how combat works, and that's kind of the point. So we've covered the basics, but let's talk about how troubadours evolve as you level up, because the progression is genuinely interesting. Early on, you're building your foundation. You've got your signature ability, a couple of heroic abilities, and your performance. You're learning how drama flows, when to spend it, when to save it. You're figuring out, essentially, your rhythm. Then, at second level, you get something called Appeal to the Muses. So, before you roll for drama at the start of your turn, you can invoke the muses. If you roll a 1, you get bonus drama, but the director gains malice. Roll a 2, you get a point of your heroic resource to keep or give away, and the director gets some malice. Roll a 3, you get 2 resources to distribute to your party. No strings attached. It's this risk-reward thing where you're literally bargaining with fate. Sometimes you power up the villain to power up yourself. Again, very dramatic. Level 4 is where things get interesting. Your characteristics increase, agility and presence both go up to 3, but more importantly, you get, dun dun dun, melodrama. Remember those events that give you drama? Natural 19s and 20s, allies dropping, that sort of thing? Now you pick up 2 more. Maybe you gain drama whenever someone rolls a natural 2, or for example, when a hero unwillingly falls 5 or more squares, or when the director uses a villain action. You're expanding your definition of what counts as dramatic, and you're getting more fuel for your abilities. Then at 6th level, you unlock Spotlight, a performance that gives everyone in range 1 of the troubadour their heroic resource at the start of their turn. It disappears if they don't use it, but it's basically everyone gets a little extra gas in the tank every round. Your whole party starts operating at a higher level just because you're there. Level 7, all your characteristics go up by 1. You're getting more powerful across the board, but you also get equal billing, which lets you bond with other heroes, not just NPCs. And when you or a bonded creature succeeds on a saving throw, everyone you're bonded with gains temporary stamina. You're creating this web of connections where your party's successes feed into each other. It's mechanically reinforcing the power of friendship thing, but in a way that feels more impactful in combat. Then we hit level 10. This is where troubadours become something else entirely. You get applause. Now, this is an epic resource. Every time you finish a rest, you gain applause equal to the XP you earned. And you can spend applause like it's drama. It doesn't go away. You're building up this reservoir of dramatic potential that persists between sessions, between adventures. That 11 drama ability you've been eyeing, you can just have it ready whenever you need it. Boom, there it is. You also get dramaturgy. Your performances, they no longer have a range limit. If an ally is on the encounter map and you can see them, they're in range of your performance. You're conducting the entire battlefield like a symphony, affecting everyone simultaneously. And finally, greatest of all time. Whenever you succeed on a test outside of combat, every NPC in your line of effect has their impression score reduced by 4 during negotiations. Just by being present and competent, you're making NPCs more receptive to your party. Your reputation precedes you. You've become legendary. Here's what it feels like at level 10. You walk into a battle with 30 to 40 applause saved up. Your performances affect the entire map. You're generating drama every turn from multiple sources because of melodrama. You can reshape the battlefield, reposition enemies, bring allies back from the brink, and when things get really desperate, you've got this deep well of applause to pull from for your biggest moves. You're not just a support character. You're not just damage. You're the person who controls the narrative of the encounter. And that's a unique power fantasy that no other class really captures. The thing about troubadours that makes them work at a table, they're not just mechanically interesting, they change how the table feels. When someone's playing a troubadour, combat becomes more collaborative. You're looking for those dramatic moments, those combos, those clutch plays, not just for yourself, but because that's literally your fuel. Your party's highlight reel moments are what power your abilities. So everyone starts playing a little bolder, a little more cinematically, because they know you're there to catch them if things go sideways. And outside of combat, well, you're the face. You're building relationships with NPCs through Scene Partner, spreading rumors with Zeitgeist, walking into negotiations with a reputation that precedes you. You're the connective tissue between the party and the world. If you're thinking about playing one, here's where I'd start. Go Virtuoso, take witty banter as your signature, grab hypnotic overtones and dramatic reversal at level 1. You've got damage, support, healing, and that big team repositioning tool all in your first session. It's a solid foundation that lets you feel out how drama works without getting too deep into the reality-bending stuff right away. So I'm curious what you think. Does the meta-narrative thing work for you, or is it too weird? Have you played a troubadour, or are you thinking about it? Drop me a comment. I'd love to hear where people land on this class. As I said earlier, we're working through all the Draw Steel classes, so if you want to see how the Talent or the Fury or any of the others stack up, subscribe. And thanks for watching.